Hi friends, welcome back to my channel, Diamonds and Washi. This is Katie. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're not new here, welcome to you too. I wanted to just hop on and chat with you guys for a little bit tonight. And I'm going to be working on The Stars Who Listen from DIY Moon Shop. The artist is Margaret Morales, and it is just so gorgeous. And I feel like I've been working on it for a while, since I'm working on this alongside my giant Josephine wall canvas. So I think I started this kit like 2 weeks ago, and normally a kit this size, which this is 50 something by 70, I can't remember, that's terrible. It's like the largest size that this one was offered in. Normally this would take me like just a little over a week, and it is almost 2 weeks. I don't know. It's fine. I'm not rushing it. I'm trying to soak it in and enjoy it. I have like 5 sections left after this one, so but yeah, I'm starting to feel that itch to get to do the next project. So I would love to hear your guys' opinions. I am, for my next project after this one, that I'm going to work on alongside the Josephine wall canvas, I think I'm going to either do one of my kits from Mary's Diamonds or the kit that I have from Treasure Studios Art. And the main reason I'm looking at those two kits is because I'm still wanting to just sort of keep moving ahead with working on kits from like a variety of different companies that license their artwork, and I have yet to work on a kit from Mary's Diamonds or Treasure Studios Art. So I admit I'm extra curious to work on one from Treasure Studios Art because I've been hearing a lot of mixed reviews lately, which is very different from what I felt like we were hearing a couple months ago. So I am anxious to see what my own personal experience is with that particular company. And of course I'm interested in trying Mary's Diamonds. The kit that I have from Mary's Diamonds is smaller. If you follow Mary's Diamonds on Instagram, you've probably actually even seen the kit that I'm most leaning towards working on, which is this really pretty piece from Alice GH, I believe is her handle on Instagram. But it's like a whale floating through outer space, which sounds way weirder than it actually is. It's like really pretty and whimsical. There's like pinks and purples. It's not like an existential like Tanya Shot Seva or something. It's like a really cute and light and whimsical piece. So I realize as I'm saying this, I'm like, well, as I'm describing this, you're gonna have one of two very different pictures in your head of what this artwork looks like. Anyway, so if you guys have opinions, oops, let me not run my head into the camera. If you guys have opinions on what you'd like to see me work on next, let me know in the comments. I've unboxed both of these companies on my channel before. So if you're curious to get a more specific look at the kits that I'm talking about, I will link them down below. Or if I'm feeling really ambitious and not exhausted when I'm editing tonight, I will link them up in the eye, which my friend Lindsay tells me is very easy to do, but I have yet to actually do it. So, do you guys use links in the eye or not so much? Just curious. So yes, once I get near the end of the kit that I'm currently working on, I tend to start thinking way ahead, because I think I'll probably finish this depending on how much time I give to this as opposed to the giant canvas, I might finish this in a couple of days. We will see. But yeah, I like to think ahead so that I can sort of mentally map out, like, okay, I want to find the bags that have drills and all of that. So anyway, yeah, let me know your thoughts below. As far as what else I'm using with this tonight, I'm like switching between pens like daily just to mix it up because I have so many. And now that I have them in this beautiful case that Jacqueline got for me for my birthday, which go back and check one of my most other recent videos with my Happy Mail birthday unboxing. Now that I have that and I can just flip through and pick out a pen to use that day, it is just the best. So thank you again, Jacqueline. I love it so much. So much. So anyway, the pen of the day this is a Bloom Blank Hybrid that was turned for me by Jim over at Jim's Handmade Pen Shop on Etsy. I'm obsessed with it. It has my colors, and some of the pens that have flowers in the middle, I have kind of mixed feelings on, but I really love this one. Also, you might notice that I have branched out, well, not branched out, that I'm bucking my usual trend, and this is not my everlasting tip multi-placer tonight. I was too lazy to take the whole 1.5 seconds that it would have taken me to swap out this skinny Star Ore tip for my everlasting multi-placer I've been using a lot, and so I just grabbed this one and used it, and I kind of like it better, and I feel really guilty saying that, because I love my everlasting tips. I really love and appreciate the gal that's come up with this concept, and I want to support her. And I mean, I have supported her. I own several of her multi-placers and single tips, but I also just want to be like one of her chief cheerleaders if I can, because I love supporting small businesses and people that come up with these new ideas. But maybe I'm just feeling like churny, and I just want to try something different. Feeling similarly about waxes lately. So yes, I'm using my patty wax right now, but I am in my single placer anyway, but I'm thinking of, I don't know, I have some Not Your Mama's Mud that I need to pull out, which, side note, Jacqueline was telling me earlier that apparently another gal on Instagram mentioned to her that as the Not Your Mama's Mud gets a little bit older, it tends to like dry out just a little bit and be a little bit harder, and you could still place with it and it still works fine. But I thought, ooh, if this is eventually gonna dry out a little bit and be at all difficult to work with, I want to make a priority of working with it. So speaking of trying new things, thank you for all of the feedback and the just the feedback about how the audio seems to be better for you guys. I'm so happy to hear that, and I'm sorry that it was problematic for a lot of people for a while. I didn't realize it had gotten that bad. So I thank you again to Lindsay for the mic. Everyone else can say thank you to her too, because she gets all the credit for that. That was so thoughtful. So yeah, I'm glad that that's helping you guys out. As far as like other diamond art, my brain is so fried, you guys. It's been a day, but I'll get into that in a minute. Does anyone else feel like when it rains, it pours? And I don't just mean in life. In this sense, I mean with diamond painting, because it feels like we'll go a long while without any companies having any major new releases, with the exception of like Diamond Art Club with their weekly releases. And then all of a sudden, like in the span of a week, multiple companies will do big new launches. Like Dreamer Designs just released a giant, I think 48 new designs up for pre-order, including a bunch of rounds, which my bank, I can't justify getting those right now. None of them are speaking to me a ton, but if you've picked up one of their new kits or pre-ordered it, let me know. I'm curious to hear what you picked out. So Dreamer Designs did a big release last week, and then I feel like tonight I heard about, well, I guess this week I've been hearing on and off about how both Craftably and Treasure Studios Art are releasing new designs, or have been releasing new designs. Craftably has a release tomorrow. It's Thursday night, by the way. Hopefully this will be up for you guys in the morning. So yeah, Friday morning, Craftably is releasing some new kits that several different content creators have previewed. And then Distracted by Diamonds, which is one of my very favorite shops, is doing, like, she's been shut down for a couple of days, and the shop announcement says, like, we're processing a huge order of new diamond paintings, and we'll be back on Friday evening. So y'all know exactly where I'm gonna be tomorrow/today for that restock, because she carries some of my favorite diamond painting artists that collaborate with her for diamond painting. I adore Geneva Bowers and Greta Lusky, and there's a new puffy gator that Jessica over at Tiny Worlds of Wonder had done a naming contest for a couple months ago, and so and then it was going to go into production, so I'm really hoping we'll be lucky enough that will be part of tomorrow's release, because I loved that. It was so stinking cute. Though due to I think a delay in shipping, like, we're not getting any Diamond Art Club new releases this week, so I guess our bank accounts get a little bit of a break there. But yeah, so what do you guys think? Are you planning to, or have you already picked up anything from these companies' new releases? Craftably is a company that I very, very much want to try, and they haven't had a piece that's really spoken to me yet. So I try to be very intentional with what I pick out, because if I don't love the piece, I'm not gonna feel like a strong desire to work on it, even for, reviewing purposes. Like, if I don't love it, then it's just gonna feel like a chore, and I don't want it to feel like a chore. They had a couple of pieces from JoJo's art for a little while, and I literally, like, the day before I was intending to go ahead and order one, it got pulled off of their website. Like, I went back to go look for it. It was there one day, and the next day when I went to actually go and order it, it was neither of the two JoJo's art pieces they had were anywhere to be found. So I sent a message to them and just asked about it and said, hey, like, are you guys planning on getting these back? Or, just checking in, just seeing, like, oh, I noticed these were here and now they're gone. And they got back to me super quickly and said, oh, we were contacted by the licensing company that we had purchased the licensing through, and the licensing company hadn't realized that JoJo's art was exclusively licensed to another company, which Diamond Art Club, like, if we know that Diamond Art Club carries a ton of JoJo's arts pieces, but so they took them off of the website, which, I mean, good for them. And I've mentioned before, like, I want to believe that companies like Craftably and some of these other companies, I really feel like they want to do the right thing. They're trying to go about it the right way, but it seems like it is just so complicated and so confusing. And even when they have the best of intentions and they're trying to go about it the right way, I guess it's just more complicated than that. But you guys hear me talk about that like in every single one of my videos. So I'm gonna not linger on that for very long. All this to say, of the sneak peeks that I've seen for Craftably, none of them, like that content creators shared, none of the ones that content creators have shared have like really spoken to me. But then Craftably posted an image just like an hour or two ago that had several canvases stacked on top of each other, like, reminding people about the release tomorrow morning. And there was one in there that looked like something I might like, that I definitely had not seen someone preview or unbox, or I'd missed it. So I will check it out tomorrow, but I probably won't pull the trigger on anything until I see what the new Distracted by Diamonds releases are. I have such a weakness for Distracted by Diamonds. If you are not familiar with Distracted by Diamonds, you're like, what is this chick talking about? So, Distracted by Diamonds is also Patty Wax. They're both owned by the same person, Robin, who's just wonderful. And they're both part of the same Etsy shop. And the Etsy shop, I want to say the name of it is still just Patty Wax, but that's also Distracted by Diamonds. And she restocks twice a day when she's not in like shutdown mode for processing new things. You can always keep an eye on her announcements. She's really good about keeping those updated with things like unscheduled closures and when they make changes. Like, they take Wednesdays off from restocking so that they can get all their orders processed and shipped out, which they ship super, super fast. I've had nothing but a wonderful experience with them, and I love the artists that they work with and the quality of their kits now that they've made some updates more recently. I just, I love Distracted by Diamonds. Yeah, so we'll see. I did pick up, I did put in that order. I think I mentioned this already. I did put in my birthday order with DIY Moonshop. So I'm not sure. It'll probably be a couple months before those come in, but I'm trying to be really, really intentional about anything that I decide to buy, because I have a large stash and I don't want to just be a straight up hoarder more than I already am. I'm trying to just really only pick out the kits that speak to me and that I think would this, kind of my mentality is, would this like end up in the top half of my priority list? Like, of the kits that I have, would this edge out like half of the kits that I already have at least? I don't know. I don't know if that's the right approach, but that's what I'm trying. What was I going to say? Oh, I mentioned earlier, today has been a heck of a day. So, if you follow me on Instagram and if you look at stories, you probably saw me post a picture where you can just see like a little bit of my 2.5-year-old's head, and he's sleeping. He had to have some dental work done this morning, and since he is so little, he had to go under general anesthesia, which was scary, but also not, because we had to do the same thing with his older brother when his older brother was 4. So believe me, I feel like the world's worst mom, and I know that I have people that are immediately going to jump in the comments and be like, you're not a bad mom. No, I know. I know I'm not a bad mom, but I still feel terrible, like, that my kids have problems with their teeth. So we've always been just really, really stringent about brush floss and fluoride. And even in the case of my 2.5-year-old, like we literally, after we've brushed his teeth, we dip his toothbrush. This is a recommendation from the dentist, don't worry. We dip his toothbrush in like the Act 2 kids fluoride, which is the safest fluoride for kids, blah, 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 blah. So because he's not old enough to know how to swish it in his mouth, we dip his toothbrush in it and brush his teeth with that. Well, and my kids don't have juice. My kids have very limited very, very limited sugar, like sweets and stuff. But as their dentist reminds me every time that I just go, I can't believe that I feel terrible. This is a problem that's going on. And she'll just say, look, there are only a couple of factors with teeth that we can control. Oral hygiene, which you guys are being on it about. And then she said diet, which you guys are on it about. And then the one thing we can't control is genetics. And the reality is my mom had terrible teeth. I have terrible teeth. I have a mouthful of fillings and a crown. And my parents were brush floss fluoride like every single night since my brother and I were young. So all this to say, my 2.5-year-old had to have multiple fillings this morning, and we were up super early because they can't have anything to eat or drink for 8 hours leading up to being under anesthesia. So since he was so young, and they're like, we're not going to try to make you keep a toddler happy while he's not allowed to eat or drink anything in the morning. So we got like one of the very first appointments. So, and of course I was anxious, so I didn't sleep super well, and everything went great. He did great. And I mentioned before how he's very much, this is the one that's like a tornado, super destructive, has broken our tree, our blinds, our TV. He broke he broke a TV. He broke our window blinds, the downstairs window. He loves mischief and destruction. And we just try to do our best to minimize the damage, because it takes him like 2 seconds to do this stuff. So anyway, he's been very much a tornado, but the past couple of months have been so crabby, just really crying a lot. And I kept telling myself, he's 2.5, like terrible twos, hello. But there's just sort of like my mom instinct, which is not always right. But I just felt like something else was going on. I felt like it seems like he's in pain for something. And even though he had gotten a totally clean bill of health at his dentist checkup in February before the pandemic, because we knew that his brother had terrible teeth, so we've been on it about taking him to the dentist, and I was all excited at the beginning of the year when he's like, his teeth look great. And then, so I took him in for his 6-month checkup after that, and they were like, yeah, we see cavities on like 4 of his teeth. And I was like, are you flipping kidding me? And there were 1 or 2 other treatments that they tried first, to try to avoid having to do the anesthesia and everything, because there was absolutely no way he was going to sit he wouldn't let them take x-rays. He's not going to sit for fillings. That's just not going to happen. So I really, part of me hopes that like his teeth issues are the cause of him being so crabby, and that we'll see a big mood shift from him. But if we do see a big mood shift from him, I'm just going to feel even more guilty that could happen at all. Anyway, so that is my giant life update of the week. That's why I'm so tired here at the end of the evening. But thankfully he went to sleep without a huge fuss, and hopefully he'll get a good night's sleep tonight. And sorry, water break. Yeah. So that is that. I did even talk to the dentist. I was like, look, can we, not now because I know this is like you're on a schedule and whatever. Like, can we please get on the phone sometime soon? Because I just, like, we need to talk about if there is anything else that I can be doing at all to help with my kids' teeth. Like, can you start kids on a calcium supplement? Can you, like, what can we do? I want to make sure that we are exhausting all of our options, because I don't want my kids to have problems with their teeth. I don't want them to have, like, the trauma of having it taken care of, because when kids are this young, like, that's the main reason they do the general anesthesia for really little kids, is because sure, they could try to hold them down. That just makes me upset to even think about. But, like, then it would be traumatizing for them. And the idea is, if we do anesthesia, then we can still build them towards having a positive association with a dentist. Also, it's just safer. Because then you're not risking, like... Anyway, I am so rambling on a subject that is so anxiety-inducing. I'm just going to let that on go. But yeah, I'm going to talk to the dentist and see if there's anything else we can be doing preventative-wise. So, oh, goodness gracious. So, what else was I going to talk about? I mentioned before that I was having some trouble with the stickiness of the adhesive on this canvas, and that I suspected that it had something to do with me using the release paper on it. Since I had talked to a couple of people, I talked to a number of people about just how they felt about their DIY moonshop canvases and whatnot. And there were only a couple of other people that I had talked with that had also had problems with the adhesive. And in both cases, it was someone that also used release paper and or had ordered in June or July. And I think they had their big Jeremiah Morelli release. So I talked about that already. I'm sorry, you guys. As I'm saying this, I'm like, yeah, I got comments about this in the comment section of my last video. So forgive me. I was thinking about my last WIP Chat that I recorded right after a rambunctious Instagram live with my friend Lindsay, and then I was chatting with a friend who had not been able to make it into that live, and it just sort of brought to mind like, what's the difference between a close group of friends that have a lot in common and have shared history and are having a lot of fun with that? What's the difference between that? Like, where's the line between that and a clique that feels exclusive? Because, and to be completely clear, none of that vibe was intentional or anything like that. And I don't even know if that was the vibe of that live, if you listen to it after the fact. But it brought to mind something I've talked with other people about before, just the idea of how can we be intentional about, like, of course you're going to gravitate toward and click with some people better than others, and click with not in the, like, Mean Girls sense of the word. Click as in, like, you gel with them, like, you hit it off, you have things in common, blah blah blah. And that'll even happen with groups of people. Like, I think that's normal. People form social circles, but at the same time, at least for me, I don't ever want to get to a point where it seems like I'm like, okay, I'm at capacity for friendships, and this is our friend circle, and no one else is really welcome. You know what I mean? Maybe that's the, like, the bleeding heart sap in me. Like, I don't want anyone to feel left out. at the same time, like, there are people that I don't necessarily click with right off the bat, and I'm not in a huge rush to try to build a close friendship with them. I don't know exactly what I'm trying to say, but is that something you guys have noticed before, where it seems like there are sort of subsets of even if it's not diamond painting related, like subsets of a social group or a community? And are there things that others have done that have made you feel like you're still welcome and valued, and in spite of there being maybe already existing like close friendships? I know that you can't control for all of that, of course, but it's something that I just try to be cognizant of, because I just know when I joined the diamond painting community on Instagram and here on YouTube, the number of people that have even like been around for a while and had close friends, like the number of people that still welcomed me and didn't make me feel like you're the newbie, you have to, like, I don't know, do your time as a newbie first or something like that before you can be our friend. I really didn't get that vibe much at all, and so I want to make sure I don't turn into that person, because I definitely tended towards being that person when I was growing up, like in middle school and high school, so I guess I'm just a little more aware of it now. Okay, let me grab another number. Let's do 2. So the one thing that I'm not as crazy about with this canvas, and I've seen other people mention it before, is some of the symbols are really, really, really close. The symbols themselves on the canvas are crystal clear, very easy to read, but like, can you see that? Sort of. Okay. So this is a G and this is a 9, and they're both on a brown background, and especially on the canvas itself, they look so similar. Thankfully, like I said, the canvas is totally clear. It's not like that Josephine wall canvas that is like, I need all the bright lights for. But at the same time, it's something I wouldn't say no to DIY moonshot fixing. On the other hand, I am really obsessed with this kit. I'm grateful that, like, on this section and the past few sections I worked on, I have not had any trouble with the adhesive at all. I haven't had it, like, the drills are coming off my multiplacer without any problems. So I hope that the issues I was having on and off were just a fluke. I do need to reload my patty wax though. And I love the artists that DIY Moonshot partners with, and I feel like their rendering is really, really nice. And I love them enough that I didn't, like, the questionable adhesive issues or what aside, did not stop me from ordering additional canvases. So it'll be interesting when I go to actually do a post review on this, which I am planning to do, like an actual post review video that I share here. So keep an eye out for that. I'm guessing that'll come next week. Let me see. So what else? I am already looking forward to Thanksgiving break. For my oldest is doing kindergarten 100% remote. His school district offered the option that kids could go back in person for kind of a hybrid schedule, or they could stay 100% remote. We chose to keep my kiddo 100% remote. Just felt like that was a way that we could do our part, since I am a stay-at-home mom. Even though I have the tornado running around, I am able to make distance learning happen. So, but at the same time, there's the time he spends at his computer, like they zoom in the kids that are remote. I missed a couple of symbols. Let me grab those. And then they call it asynchronous work, which is basically just some homework they have the kids do at home on their own time so that they're not stuck in front of a screen for even longer, which I super appreciate. But, I mean, finding the time... Is my angle bad? Yep. You guys haven't been able to see the top of that. Little mid-end video adjustment there. Anyway, it's by the time we get to the end of the day and I'm like, shoot, we never did his asynchronous learning. We'll just squeeze it in tomorrow. But then we have to go in every Friday and turn in his work for the week and pick up like the stuff for the following week. And so it's like Thursday afternoon and Friday morning I'm like, okay, Connor, we gotta sit down and catch up, which is not how it's intended to be. And I know that if there are any teachers in here, parents in here, you're cringing. I know. It's just, we're doing the best we can. It's been crazy, honestly, with the way that our state's numbers are heading. I feel like I'll be shocked if they're able to keep the kids at school. I feel like we're a couple weeks away from them being like, all right, y'all couldn't pull it together and wear your masks, or numbers are too high, we're back to 100% remote, which I know is quite a burden on a lot of people, and it's so far from ideal for most kids. And believe me, like, I so badly want him to be able to go to school because he's autistic, and when he's able to go in person, it is really good for him because that helps him just sort of learn to operate under other people's structures, and I think it's good for him to have other people working with him and teaching him and all of that. So, and he really, like, he misses his friends. He misses getting to play with his friends and socialize and everything, and it's hard. It's a bummer. Yeah. It's our that's what we decided. Like, I don't regret what we decided, but I'm still sad for him that at the moment he's not able to have that extra time at school and the growing that goes at school. He's so interesting. He reminds me a lot of what my mom says I was like as a kid, which, side note, I have a whole, like, personal rabbit hole that I go down where I'm like, I think that I might actually be autistic, but it's extremely difficult to diagnose adults, and girls in particular. Like, girls always get under or misdiagnosed, because it just can manifest so differently. That's neither here nor there for the moment. But he's wicked smart. Like, when they've tested him for his math and his reading, he's testing like 3-4 years ahead. And it's not just like, oh, my mommy says I'm smart. It's like, no, I have it on paper that he's smart. I'm just being silly. But, so I feel so bad for him also because I about died. Like, his first week of kindergarten, and his teacher was like, okay, friends, let's work on our number of the week. Number 1. And I just looked over at my husband and facepalmed. He was working from home because Connor, that's my oldest name, has been, like, at the time, like, he had just started counting by 2s, like, past 100. Like, he recognizes and can hypothetically he could count, like, up to, like, the tens of thousands. Like, he's doing basic addition and subtraction, And so, okay, the number of the week is the number 1. And I get it. Like, I get that's much more typical for kindergarten, especially in like a special ed kindergarten setting. But if he were in school and if we weren't in the middle of the pandemic, they would be able to mainstream him with like gen ed for math and reading. And he's reading, again, like well beyond level. Like, again, like, okay, this week our letter of the week is, and I thought, letter of the week, he's reading. But thank goodness his teacher is incredible, and I felt so guilty, and I waited for a little while before I reached out to her, because I know teachers are carrying an absolutely insane workload right now, and I know so many teachers are on the cusp of mental breakdowns. It's too much for them. Like, the expectations that have been placed on them are ridiculous. Anyway, I reached out to his teacher and just said, I'm Mrs. So-and-so. I appreciate so much all of the hard work that you're putting into teaching these kids, and I know that you have such a difficult and thankless task. And I said, so I feel bad to even reach out and ask, but do you have any ideas or suggestions for some just supplemental material we can be giving our kiddo? Because, and I just very gently said, he's very bored. Like, he's finishing in, a minute what has been allotted like 10 minutes for in class time. And I said, I get it. I get that there are kids that that time gives you guys the time to help them and support them. And said, I totally am on board with that. If you have any suggestions, I'd be happy to go and look for, pick up any resources you might have to suggest. And this wonderful, wonderful woman messages me back within an hour. And she's like, I know, I've noticed, and I wish that there were, if we were in person, there are so many ways that I could more easily supplement and challenge him. And she said, but she's like, it was Thursday at the time. She's like, tomorrow when you do materials pickup, I'll have some things in there that you can use. This saint of a teacher had not just stuck a couple of worksheets in there. She had put together this whole packet that she had not just gone and made copies of, she had personalized it for our kiddo and his interests and strengths and areas that he could use some extra work on. And I just wanted to tear up. I was so grateful that she was willing to take that extra time and effort out of her day, in addition to the crazy amount of work that she has to do to make school happen for these kids. I just, I'm literally tearing up right now because it meant so much. And so, yeah, I'm really, really, really grateful for her. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. If you have kiddos that are in school, or if you have friends who are teachers, send them a text, send them a $5 Starbucks gift card, send them an actual, just handwritten card, anything. Send them an email, and just seriously, 30 seconds of your time to say, hey, I was thinking of you. I know that your job is super hard right now, and I just want you to know that I appreciate you. You're doing an incredible job. Please let me know if I can bring you coffee, or, something like that. And I promise I'm not trying to toot my own horn here whatsoever. But I took a minute to send an email to his kindergarten teacher a couple weeks ago, just to send her some encouragement, because it had been a tough day, because I can overhear school, obviously, because my kiddo's sitting at the kitchen table while he's doing school, and I'm running around with the toddler trying to keep him out of trouble. So I just heard that it sounded like it had been a a little bit more difficult day. So I sent her a message just trying to be encouraging, and she messaged me back. She's like, she have no idea how much this means to me. She said, I'm literally crying tears of gratitude. She said, this has not been at all easy. And, you know, I feel like we're on the verge of like a teacher shortage. Like, I think if something's got to give. Like, if things don't start to shift soon, I think these teachers are just going to peace out, because this is not what they signed up for. It's not sustainable for most of them. Anyone else just like really super ready for this silly pandemic to be over? It's too much. So, completely lost my train of thought. More water. I'm almost done with this section, you guys. Oh, there I go, bumping the mic again. So things that I have planned as far as what's coming next, I really am going to work on trying to pull together what I want to share in that multi-placing video, just some tips and tricks. My plan is to include tips for using a couple of different kinds of multi-placers, like the skinny ones, the everlasting tips, and then do you guys want me to share suggestions for like the thicker multi-placers that, here, I've got them over here. Like, most companies don't include the like skinny Star Or multi-placers. Most companies are including, come on, I know I've got some in here. Yeah, right here in front of my face. So here's like two different kinds of tips. You can actually see. So the thicker ones are what a lot of companies will include. I do not like using the thick ones at all. I won't use them. It's either the skinny ones or the everlasting tips. So my thought was I would just do the skinnies or the everlasting tips, but if you guys are interested in seeing some suggestions or just some demos of me using the thicker plastic tips, I would be happy to do that. I basically exclusively use museum putty in my multi-placers. I like never have to change it out, and it doesn't lose its stickiness, hence my never having to change it out. And it's super, super cheap. So I'll probably talk about that in relation to multi-placers, and I'll practice with using the pink wax, since I know many people, if they're diamond painting and they're watching videos with suggestions for multi-placing or something similar, then they might also be the kind of people that don't really buy extra tools and accessories, which is fine. You don't have to. Most companies include everything that you need in their toolkits and their kits, and a lot of it is really high quality. I know a lot of people try lots of different kinds of waxes and wax alternatives, and time again we'll just come back to the Diamond Art Club Pink Heart Wax. I really like the Diamond Art Club Pink Wax. Honestly, I use patty wax so often, in part because I love having all the different scents, and I'm a collector and a hoarder. But a lot of people will just use the pink wax in their single and their multi-placers. So I will include both of those as far as wax goes, or wax alternatives. But if you have other specific things you would be interested in seeing, and if you've made it this far into this 49-minute WIP Chat so far, I'm going to wrap it up here. I was hoping to finish this section. Let me see if I can knock it out real quick. If you have other waxes or wax alternatives you're interested in seeing in that video, please share below or send me a message, because I'm open to suggestions and want to share things that are helpful. As far as the single tips go, I'll demo how I load with patty wax and with one of my other favorite waxes, which is not wax alternatives, the Not Your Mama's Mud. And I'll show you what that looks like both in the non-everlasting single placer and the everlasting tip single placer, because believe it or not, you kind of, at least with like the Not Your Mama's Mud, they kind of need to be loaded differently whether it's a brass tip or an everlasting tip. Isn't it so crazy how many options there are out there for us as diamond painters? Like, there are a million different kinds of wax options out there. There are a million different pen turners. There's a million different, trays and accessories. Like, I love it because it means that there's something for everyone. And there was a symbol I missed I wanted to grab. Let's do 4 first. Yeah, I like that there are so many different options out there, so we can all find what works for us. And it doesn't have to be a competition or nasty anything. So, I'm so close. If you guys didn't notice, by the way, Diamond Art Club did do a small set of restocks earlier today. It was mostly, my guess is that those were early November pre-order, like their leftover stock. I found that this is something of a pattern with Diamond Art Club, where they do a whole set of pre-orders, but it's like they don't sell all of their expected inventory as pre-orders. Do you know what I mean? It's like they leave themselves some wiggle room for like if things arrive damaged or whatnot. So whenever there's a round of pre-orders that they get in to actually ship out, I've noticed it seems like they, around that time or like a week after that time, we'll see them put all of that leftover stuff up on their website. So I did notice that earlier this afternoon. So check your wish lists. I saw a number of like Hannah Lynn's and some Chuck Pinson's and that kind of thing. So definitely go take a look in case there was something you were hoping for from your wish list. I think the one that I want was part of the mid or late November pre-orders. I waited on it for too long because I was waiting to see if they would get like another kit in that I could order with it and get free shipping and blah, blah, blah. You know how it goes. And then I ended up missing out on it. And that was the Magical Mama set or kit canvas. The colors are really, really pretty. It's like a 2 unicorns, like a mom and her foal, and it's a Mandy Manzano, but there's just lots of like really pretty pastels and that kind of thing. That's just very dreamy and whimsical, which those are like my buzzwords. Okay, so is it whimsical? Does it have dragons? Does it have pink? Does it have unicorns or mermaids are often fair bets for me. I have a little bit of a like type, I guess, but I mean we all do. Like there are specific people that I think of when I think of like Chuck Pinson's, people that I think of when I think of like, oh, this kit has fairies in it, like so-and-so would like this, or oh, this kit is Alice, obviously that has so-and-so's name on it, or this, that, and the other thing, or this one is a little darker. And anyway, there are probably some specific people that came to mind when I mentioned those things, and yeah, that was on purpose. So yeah, okay, just 2 more drills and I'm done with this section. Look at her hair. Yeah, that does, I think, show up decently well on camera. So if you've made it all the way through this video, it seems like every time I make a WIP Chat, it's a little longer than the last one. Which, I mean, you know what? I enjoy hanging out with you guys. And it gives me a little something to do when I'm painting. And I just really enjoy getting to engage with you guys that way. And by the way, I am sorry that I am behind on getting to comments this week. It's just been a little bit hectic with school for my oldest, and the dentist appointment this morning was actually a last minute thing. It wasn't supposed to happen until next month because they have to book out the anesthesiologist so far in advance, but I had asked them to put us on a wait list, and we were lucky enough. We got a call literally yesterday afternoon, and they're like, we have an opening for tomorrow morning. Do you want it? I was like, yes. So anyway, it's been a little hectic this week, and I'm sorry that I've left you guys hanging as far as responding to your comments. I really enjoy getting to know you guys there. It's so fun. Like, there are, various names I know I'm almost always going to see there. And you guys, that means the world to me that you guys, if you've subscribed, or even if you haven't subscribed and you've just made it to the end of this video, just the fact that you're here means the world to me. It's fun to know that I'm not just talking into a void. And I have really, really loved getting to know you guys and make friends here. It's really been a blast, and I'm a broken record. It's been a lifeline for me during this lockdown for sure. So I am done with this section. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up before I hit that hour mark, because good gracious. Anyway, thank you guys so much for being here. If you enjoyed this ramble-tastic video, feel free to hit the thumbs up. Let me know you enjoyed it. And of course, feel free to leave any comments below. Let me know what you're interested in seeing me work on next. I have the Treasure Studios art kit Diana from the artist Marie Banganail. I'll link it below. So I have that kit from Treasure Studios Art, and a couple of kits from Mary's Diamonds from the artist Alice GH that I'm debating between. So if you have a preference or thoughts, please leave them below, because I don't have super strong feelings at the moment. If you would like to see more craziness from me, feel free to hit the subscribe button and even the bell if you want to get notified whenever I post videos, which is not at all on a schedule because I have two tiny humans running around and I'm at the mercy of when they go to bed at night and also wanting to spend time with my husband and all that. So I hope you guys have a really great week and weekend. Let me know if you're planning on snagging anything from the various new releases we're gonna see in the coming days. Look forward to some unboxings because I haven't gotten to do one of those in a minute. And please remember, be kind to yourself in these crazy times and find ways to be kind to others as well. All right, friends, have a great night. I will see you next time. Bye.